favor, aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Excellent. We'll start, if everyone doesn't mind rising if you're able, and we'll say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thanks so much. We'll start with district updates, and Commissioner Moritz from District 6 will kick us off when he's ready.
Mark Moritz, District 6. This month I participated in a meeting of Transit Columbus to learn more about Bike Plus. I also went to the open house for Bike Plus to learn more about what the current draft plan is and to give feedback. I also participated in the social for commissioners earlier this month. And I've been in contact with people from public services about signs for the neighborhood bikeway. So there's a connector that was built between Old Beachwold and Delawania. The signs have not been put up. So I contacted public services, and they're now working on installing those bike signs, so people do not get lost in Old Beachwold. That's it.
Drew Miller, District 9. Nothing to report.
Thank you. I am reporting for a few commissioners. So I have notes from Commissioner Nutter, District 2. He attended the Area Commission networking event that the city put on, I think with Commissioner Lee Osborne. So thank you for representing Clintonville that evening. He also noted that on West 2 Lane, there are a couple cars that have not been moved. A homeowner nearby, property owner says potentially for 2 years. It sounds like there's a discrepancy around whether these are on city property or private property. I think there have been a couple of attempts at 311. Recently there might have been an issue trying to connect with 311. Code enforcement has been out, but he is trying to figure out how to navigate. The weeds are growing up to the point where they're at the windshield level, so it seems like they've been abandoned for quite some time. One of the cars doesn't have any plates. So if the city, I know we have a new police liaison who I can introduce here shortly. So if anybody from the city's departments has insights on how we can handle 2 abandoned cars on West 2 Lane, please reach out to Commissioner Nutter, and he's happy to connect you with that resident. He also noted he talked to a constituent who took their kids to Arborcrest and had a great time, and that the bike path construction is underway at 315 in North Broadway. I have if you don't mind for one moment, I have an update from Commissioner Kroll. I saw him at Arborfest. He was volunteering all day, so thank you to him for that work. He also responded to a resident concerned about streetlight outages throughout the Northmore neighborhood. Stacy was very helpful from the bar neighborhood, so thanks Stacy. And it turns out the outage was the result of a car crash involving the utility pole. And the power came back on 2 weeks after the crash. He also attended the Bike Plus open house at the Reed Center, and he wanted to give a special shout out to the Green Spot Committee for all of their dozens of volunteers organizing and producing the first ever Columbus Arbor Festival. It was fun and educational, and there was a huge turnout. My update, I also attended the Arbor Festival. It was a great turnout, very well organized event. Huge feather in the cap of Clintonville to have that great citywide event here. So really grateful to Green Spot, and they'll share a little bit more details later on in the agenda. And most of my constituent interaction this week has been around deer. This month has been around deer. There was a story about deer on, it might have been NBC4. Former Commissioner BJ White was interviewed. It was a citywide story about deer, but every single person who was interviewed lived in Clintonville. And so that has been the ongoing complaint. I have somebody on Northridge who's really upset they don't have anything out of their vegetable patch that they could use. I commiserated with them and shared that we have been talking about this issue for quite some time, but we need to work with the city to do anything about it. There's districts 2, 4, and 5 updates. Commissioner Latta.
Hi, Paul Latta, District 1. There's a lot going on this month in my neck of the woods. Crest Fest happened. It was a lot of fun. And thanks to all the volunteers and organizers of that event. Our Fest too, I attended, and it was a really great, put together, the volunteers and organizers of that, congratulations for there. I wasn't able to go to the Birch Home party, unfortunately, so I missed out on that one. Columbia Gas, I see they're here with their MOT plans. They're gonna close Crestview Road between Indianola and Railroad shortly to begin pulling pipe underneath the freeway. I've had some constituent contact. One is concerned about speed on High Street. He walks their kid to school, to Clinton, and is just really concerned about, feels like he's taking his life in his hands crossing Weber and High. There was a motorcyclist that was killed at Kelso and High by an impaired driver. I don't know if a speed reduction plan on High Street would have prevented that or not. I'm not sure. I can't really speak to what actually happened there, but tragedy nonetheless. And that is all I have.
Thank you. Commissioner Osborne.
Donnelly Osborne, District 3. I did attend the networking function at the Columbus Museum of Art with Commissioner Natter. I was working with Greg on the 2 abandoned cars. I think we're still unsuccessful with that, but we were working also in tandem on a van that was on the Indianola and the southbound lane for about 3 or 4 months. It never moved even during morning rush hour. So after 311 several times, it finally got marked and towed. So we got one of the 2 issues taken care of kind of in our areas there. And that was all I had to report.
Thank you. Commissioner Wyman.
Mike Wyman, District 7, nothing to report.
Thank you. Commissioner Moritz, would you like to present the past meeting minutes for approval?
I've shared the meeting minutes twice, made some changes.
And we did add the verbatim feedback from the city on the capital budget request for that was a great suggestion. So is there a motion to approve the minutes? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Thank you so much for continuing to keep us transparent and have great minutes, Commissioner Moritz. Commissioner Miller, any treasurer's report this month?
Nothing to report.
Thank you. I think we have a few representatives from the city. I would love to start with Department of Neighborhoods. Cece, if you don't mind.
Yes, thank you. Good evening, everyone. So the city strongly suggests that basically if you even walked in front of a city building or beside it or anywhere around it, go ahead and sign up for that Experian credit monitoring. It's open to not only Columbus, City of Columbus residents, but everyone. That includes your family, so your partner, your spouse, your children, and it literally takes no time at all. I've done it myself. It's very easy. The information on that is columbus.gov/cyber, or you can just go back on columbus.gov. It'll have this big red banner that you click on, and it takes you through that. And if you're having trouble, just call, and they'll make sure. And that's 2 free years of credit monitoring, as well as $1 million protection insurance. So that is, I take advantage of that. I do have some items. So the department, that way, Rex and Park is working on a 10-year plan, and they are looking for community feedback on, and this is to improve facilities, classes, anything that has to do with recreation and parks. Has a nice little survey for community feedback. It takes about 15 minutes, and they're looking for all community feedback, so please take a minute to, you can go to their website, or there's a QR code there as well. And then the last thing I have is this for you again, is the Department of Neighborhoods is putting on a Neighborhood Best Practices Conference on September 14th. That's a Saturday, no Ohio State football, it's bye week. 9 to noon at Columbus State Community College, and it's free for all to attend. We have a keynote speaker, Dante Wood Spikes, who is a Columbus community advocate. Other breakout sessions include the next phase of Zone In. All right, so we got through phase 1, and they're going to talk about what they're going to propose for next round, what they're going to put out. Growing community relationships and trauma response communication. Link Us. property action team, which I think that's gonna be pretty big. That's from the city's attorney's office and dealing with nuisance properties and, public art and other things as well. Breakfast is provided. It's a great place to learn about what's going on in the neighborhood and help us grow that. So, unless anyone has any questions?
Any questions in the session?
Yes, sir.
Last meeting, we asked about, we inquired about deer.
Uh-huh.
The plans are of the city with regard to deer, because we decided to go beyond the Glendale Area Commission, the citywide problem. Do you have any tips?
It's basically the same that you've been hearing,
Which is?
which is try not to feed the deer, have your neighbors not feed the deer, and it's not, we can't go out and trap them or shoot them or anything like that right now within city lines.
I know Worthington recently passed a feeding ordinance related to feeding.
Bird feeders, they've outlawed bird feeders.
I have not heard movement on the city's part of that, but I can ask. I know it's not something you want to hear, and that's not a response that I want to give, quite honestly, because I know. I've heard a lot and I've witnessed a lot, so. But I can definitely advocate on your behalf.
Thank you. Any questions from the public? Yeah, Ryan?
The Neighborhood Best Practices Conference,
Yes, sir.
is that a venue where we can talk about some of the projects that we do in our committee? It ultimately bubbles up to stuff like, hey, what if we did this in other areas of town? For example, we have pollinator gardens at the fire station, which kind of potentially leads to a discussion of the use of municipal property, as an example, or just a place where people can interact with city property in their community to make a garden. And other things like having a green team at all on our area commission. Some area commissions, in fact, I don't think hardly any of them have a green team. Is that a place where we can talk about stuff like that?
We would welcome you to table as a resource table to spread the word about that. I wish I would have known sooner. We would have you as a guest speaker in one of the breakout sessions. But during the networking time, you can definitely attend and talk to that. But would you like, if you would like to create a resource table to talk to other area commissioners in the community about that, I can give you the information to do that.
You can say.
I
Meet with me after.
Yeah, Commissioner Moritz and I both attended last year, and I think Commissioner Cole might have been there too, I wanna say. In any event, there is time where, as an attendee, and I don't know if it's the same venue, but we were kind of shuffled through all the tabling, so I think it would be a useful way to meet lots of other area commissioners, so. Okay, great. Any other questions from the public for Susie? Alright, thank you, as always. I believe we have the city attorney's office here as well tonight. Welcome back.
Hello, everyone. My name is Christopher Clark. I am the Register attorney in the property action team that deals with public nuisances. I don't have anything to report, but if you and Commissioner Nutter would like, if I can give you my information, you can tell me exactly where that vehicle is, and I can figure out what the discrepancy is between city and private property. But yeah, so I'll be here. I have my cards. If anyone has any complaints or if you're not receiving any response with regard to a problem property in your neighborhood, then let me know and I can look into it. We bring suits to the environmental court judge for nuisances that can involve any property from high grass and weeds to a bar or a market that has felonious conduct occurring. So we can bring that to the court, address that, and hopefully I think that makes sense. Christopher Clark, nice to see you.
Thanks, Mr. Clark. Any questions from commissioners or the public?
Can you help us with deer?
So the properties, this is about properties, not animals.
Okay. Thank you. Always worth an ask.
I'm wondering, because I have a little doe that keeps jumping my 6-foot fence into my backyard for whatever reason.
I live in Clintonville as
Yeah,
well,
so-
and I'm familiar with, we have family that
Yes,
walk our
yeah.
street.
Yeah, with golden retrievers, yeah. Commissioner Wyman, did you have a question too? No.
I did a 311 for no handicap signs, parking signs at a business on High Street. I got a response back saying it's private property, the city doesn't go on the private property. This has been an ongoing issue. The last city attorney got an answer, our liaison, got a sort of an answer saying that if it was built before 95, blah, blah, blah. Well, that's all well and good, but this was after 1995, which is when the ADA went into effect. But I still got the response of you have to work it out with private property. So that is an issue that needs to be addressed.
Very good.
Thank you. Any questions from the public? Please.
Is there, somebody, an attorney in the prosecutor's office that deals with your issues?
No. We do, I mean, no.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks. I believe we have someone from the police department here this evening.
Fire.
Oh, I'm sorry, that's the second time, I'm so sorry. Does the fire department have something this evening?
Yeah, I'm the new captain at 19s. I want to introduce myself to the commissioners and the community. My name is Bob Paxton. I'll be there for a couple years. I've worked with Ryan already with Pollinator Gardens, and they've done some fantastic work for us. I will be at your meetings, or a representative from my station will be there to take any of your concerns you have. I don't have much from the fire department. As far as the building goes, we're working on trying to get a new roof this year. So outside of that, just here to listen. Ryan has my contact information, and then I'll try and leave it with you before I leave, and that way you can get a hold of me directly.
Thank you so much, Captain Paxton. And I would imagine no deer jurisdiction in your department.
We leave that to the police.
Perfect. Well, I don't see, but yeah, sure.
We got an issue on North High Street with a business that's hosting parties.
Okay.
I was wondering if, do you guys still look at maximum occupancy and things like that?
We do. If you have the address, actually at Station 19, we have a prevention firefighter that works the 24 hours on schedule with me. So if we have something that's outside of our normal inspection process, you know, whether a bar or something, you know, immediate, they can go check it out, and they can handle it. So if you want to leave me the address,
Okay.
I can look into it for you.
But we have it, I think I have it too, I know.
It's just it's a business, or
It's a business that we believe, we've heard neighbors are concerned that it might be, it's a small space that they've been packing it beyond the capacity of what the previous business owner who had rented this space had been told was the maximum.
Okay.
Wonderful. Any other questions for the fire department? No.
What do you do about cars that habitually park in front of the fire hydrant, like they leave their car there for 2 or 3 days at a time? Who do I call?
Police department. I mean, if we see it and the homeowner's near it, we'll try and ask him, but there's not much we can do. And in case of emergency, we do what we have to, but
One of the firemen one time told me that you either take the truck and remove that vehicle, or you just go through it.
I can't speak to that.
I know.
But it's bad form to park in front of a hydrant. It's illegal. Usually the police handle that, and they'll have it towed for us. If we call, usually it comes out pretty quickly. Somebody will come out and remedy the situation.
Thank you. Welcome to Clintonville.
Yep. 311.
Okay. Thank you. And I don't think we have anyone from police here. I know Officer Brown is transitioning to a different precinct, and we will be getting a new liaison soon, but I don't think we have a name yet. So we welcome them and anticipate them.
Send an email update like a couple minutes before the meeting.
So you would be late.
Oh, okay. Well, if he pops in, we can pause the meeting and, if he sent an update too, I'll just pause briefly and maybe I can find it. Okay, on, today at approximately 3:05 a.m., 3 precinct officers responded to the Ave apartment complex at 3688 Brunel Street West on the report of multiple vehicles with windows being broken. Officers located 20 vehicles in the parking lot which were damaged and or obviously rummaged through. Officers were only able to locate 3 vehicle owners at the time of this email. but included information for each vehicle in the report, and the caller described the suspect as someone of unknown race, wearing a black hoodie and black pants. They were last seen leaving the area on foot toward the neighborhood west of Indianola Avenue, toward my house, great. On September 4th at approximately 1:23 a.m., a victim was in an argument with a suspect, at which time the suspect struck the victim with a wooden club and attempted to steal the victim's vehicle. And on August 22nd at 2:47 a.m., a suspect robbed the speedway located at 4494 Kenny Road at 9 Point. The suspect was described as male, with blonde hair, age 20 to 30, 5'5" to 5'8", 130 to 160 pounds. And Officer Brown might be able to join us late, so I'll, any questions can go to him when he arrives. Any other city departments here that we've missed?
I'm with council.
Oh, welcome. Are you the new Harrison?
Yes.
Welcome. Please introduce yourself and please share updates.
Okay, wonderful. Hi, everybody. I'm Suzanne Chow, the new Harrison. So I just joined council last week. I actually grew up near Clintonville. I went to Columbus Alternative High School, so I was always on rubber, hitting those potholes. But yeah, so a little bit, I have a couple of updates for you guys from the city. First, council will be back in session next week. Of course, 5 p.m. City Hall. I'm sure you all know the drill. And one thing that is on the agenda that you all might find interesting is that there is a $4 million affordable housing bond fund that is going to be up for discussion. So that will be discussed. And also a couple of other things happening next week is Councilmember Remy is hosting his second annual Public Safety Week. So it is a week-long event ranging from community dinners where you guys can come into a setting kind of like this, but you're eating and you can talk to the members about the deer and about the parked cars that shouldn't be where they are, or anything else that you want to just bring to their attention and see if they can do anything about it. And also another thing, there is a Safety Fun Fest, which is like a block party that we are still welcoming organizations to table for, and we're welcoming any type of organization. It doesn't have to be safety related, so if you would like to come and mingle with kids throughout Central Ohio, they'll be there, and all adult age groups as well. There'll be food, it'll be a great time. Come see me and we can make that happen for you.
Is there a date for the Safety Fun Fest?
Thursday. It's from 4 to 7 p.m. And all the information for each event, there's one for every single day next week. All that information will be on council's website as well as the Facebook page. I will spare you the long list, but there's like a gun buyback program as well in there. There's a Pelotonia bike ride event as well on there, and several other really cool events. So,
thank you. Are there any questions for City Council from the commissioners or from the public? Great. Thanks so much for joining. And if you have cards and you don't mind leaving a couple or just shooting us an email so we have your contact info, we appreciate you being here.
yes, I haven't gotten my cards yet. So I'll go ahead and just give out my phone number right now, but I'll also stay after the meeting if anybody wants to connect one-on-one. My phone number is 614-749-3026. And if you want to chat after, I can give my email, but next meeting I should have my cards, given that bureaucracy works in a timely manner. So, thank you.
Thank you so much. Fantastic. All right. I think we are set on all city updates. Okay, fantastic. We are moving on to Chair Melissa Dahl with an Elections Committee update.
Good evening. I'd like to recognize the commissioners for Districts 4, 5, and 7 for the term beginning January 2025. They are Hannah Van Kuken, District 4, Brittany Bolton, District 5, and Michael Wyman, District 7. You notice I didn't talk about election results. We didn't have any voting process this year to cancel the election because each district only had one certified candidate and there were no write-in candidates. So those are the winners. And I guess the next steps are for the commission, my understanding is there's some paperwork involved in making all that official, that gets out of the city, and then training. My understanding is that the commission will take care of that detail.
We get the, so we get the training schedule from usually the Department of Neighborhoods liaison, so thank you. So, and I've already had the opportunity to meet with Commissioner Van Kuken. I'm really excited for you to join us. Though of course we'll be sad to lose Commissioner Cole next year, but she's ready and willing to take part in trainings before she
well as a copy of the training, so you hopefully make a video.
Thank you. Thanks for running another electional cycle and keeping us all organized. And I'll just put a shameless plug. If you're in this room and you're engaged, please consider running for the area commission if you haven't already or haven't served on it. I am thrilled to be volunteering again, but I would love if there were other folks in our neighborhood that were running against me. So volunteerism is really good. All right, moving on to Green Spot Committee. Chair Foshi is here. Is Annalise here too, Ryan, or just you?
Yeah, she's at work.
Okay.
She's sorry to miss, but yeah, just quick. This won't take 10 minutes. The Green Spot Committee is pleased to report that Columbus Arbor Fest was a success. Over 2,000 people attended the event. That's a low estimate. We got familiar with counting people. It's not easy to count that high. Like, did I see that person? But that's a safe estimate, 2,000 people. At least 55 people volunteered. That doesn't include the 30 volunteers that came out for Columbus Rec and Parks invasive removal of the prairie. So if you add them, that's, I guess, 85 plus people volunteered that day in our community, which is great. Filling out a post-event survey for Columbus Rec and Parks, one of the questions I had to do some figuring out because I didn't figure that out before, but 77 local businesses or nonprofits participated as an exhibitor or sponsored the event, so that's a pretty good number. Local groups that engaged. And then we had some feedback, email, text messages, and then there were 2 event surveys, one for participants, one for exhibitors. We had a great response to that. About 70% of the exhibitors filled out the survey, which is like, whoa. It's 35 exhibitors, so we have their results. Every exhibitor that took the survey said they would come back next year, except there was one maybe. So I think we're headed to this being a yearly event, but we're also just going to take a break this month. That's why I'm not giving a long presentation or anything or slides. We can do that some other day, but I just wanted to just share that people are really interested in keeping this going. A lot of the same crowd will probably come back next year. It'll be easier to do since it's not year one, and we've gone through the permit and all that stuff. So I'm very excited that that will continue, and we have a lot of new leaders that were part of our planning team that, you know, will be back next year, so that's great. Anyway, just some facts and figures. One of the questions was, how was our communication before the festival? Scale 1 to 5, 4.49. Got really high marks from everybody, so I'm just really proud of our team and the community that came out. It was a really positive event. The vibe was great. Had the setup go 4.5, 1 to 5 scale, and then how did things go during the festival? That was even better, 4.7. So I mean, we're hitting the top of the scale. I think everybody really liked the event. And just one couple of quick quotes here. One person said, "I loved how every booth was truly related to the theme of the fair, and that it didn't feel overly corporate or commercial. Love that there were music and dance, and I love that there was so much information about how to make sustainable choices in our daily lives." Another person said, "I loved how community-based it was. Everyone really enjoyed it." That was a focus of our festival, just keep it on message and true to the mission of just having a good time and learning about our world and our environment. One person, I really like this one. One person said, "Love sharing this with my 2 young daughters." We had an area that was specifically for kids at the festival. And we'll tune that up to where it's even better next year as well. But family-focused event is what we did, what we tried to do, and so I'm really proud that we pulled that off. Thank you so much. That's our update for this month.
Thank you so much, and thank you to all the many, many volunteers. It was an amazing feat for a volunteer-led event. Are there questions from the commissioners for Chair Bushy?
I just wanted to say, I was a volunteer there, and I think you guys did such an amazing job. I had a lot of folks asking me how long this event had been going on, and it was kind of fun to tell them that this was the first time we had done it, and everybody seemed really impressed with how organized it was. So congratulations.
Thank you. Our team, it got bigger and bigger as we went along planning, and we had people with specific skill sets apply to certain jobs, like a fundraising person, and a kind of outreach, kind of marketing person. So I think we did a lot of things right, and thank you also for your support all the way through, Commissioner Wolf as well, and lots of other folks that got sponsor or volunteer.
Chair Hardwick. Welcome.
Thank you. And one thing I say, so if you could put off the discussion of screening forms either to the next month or the month after, I would be grateful.
Sure thing.
But-
Oh, I apologize, it's still on here. Yes, we can table that.
Okay. The demolition agenda, these are the last remaining items, well, maybe it's not the last, I don't know. But these are for the Columbia gas projects. This is only to waive the 60-day waiting period. If the commission said no or did nothing, they could demolish, they just have to wait 60 days from the application date. No one from Columbia Gas showed up, but we all decided that this project has been considered, approved over and over again, so we said yes. We voted unanimously, recommended to waive the waiting period. And I did send emails to the people on the application form, filters in the application.
And I think Columbia Gas is here tonight. Would you like to, are there questions for Chair Hardwick from the commission before we go to the applicant? Would you like to share materials? I don't know how, we have had meetings about it, so I don't know how in depth we want to get.
Is this gonna be in reference to the demo or the press meeting?
Oh.
No updates on it.
Okay, great.
Thank you for your advocacy.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, any questions from the commission for the applicant? Any questions from the public on the demo? Okay. I'll go ahead and do a voice vote. Commissioner Moritz?
Yes.
Commissioner Miller?
Yes.
Commissioner Lotta?
Yes.
Commissioner Leothorn?
Yes.
Commissioner Wyman?
Yes.
And I will also vote yes.
That moves on to the two applications. The first one is for a special use permit, and the one correction I had is that it's actually a special permit for medical marijuana dispensary. That I'll let their lawyer explain the legalities of how this works, how the medical marijuana permit is what allows them, as the city's law, city permitting evolves so that when non-medical marijuana is officially sanctioned by the city, it will be allowed as a result of this. This will lead to that being allowed. So the committee looked at this as authorizing a permit that would, setting aside the label, that would allow them to do both medical and non-medical marijuana according to state law. There were some general cannabis concerns, but the only special permit related concern was parking. I know they said someone saying that they mentioned that even employees were blocking their driveways. My guess is that was probably been addressed in the past week. But parking and traffic were the non-cannabis related concerns in the committee. There was very little comment from the committee on this. It seemed they've been here, they're gonna keep it's not really a change in the status quo, except that state law is evolving due to the citizen vote. So we unanimously recommend approval.
Wonderful. Are there questions for Chair Hardwick from the commission or the public?
I have just a comment. I just received some from people who live right immediately around the building. And one of the concerns was that people who shop there basically sometimes block the alley where they can't get out. It's more like, I think it's more of an enforcement issue, not necessarily the stores issue, perhaps. Another concern was that employees come out and just sit in their cars idling on their breaks. And I'm wondering do you guys have a break room for employees? But this person was not opposed to the use or anything about that. This is more like a time, I guess, just to vent it out. So that's it.
Thank you. And I know we've got the applicant here today. Greg, would you like to man this, or I can do next slide too?
We'll just do next slide.
Okay.
So my name is Greg Grosby. I'm with Ice Miller. I'm the counsel for True Leaf, it's Harvest.
No, that's true. It used to be Harvest.
Yeah. So it used to be Harvest of Ohio. It's now Truly. We're here, as was mentioned, for a special permit to operate. The way Columbus's law works, Columbus has not yet adopted an adult use statute or adult use ordinance as part of their zoning ordinance. The Harvest of Ohio, the original that store that got bought by Truly, had obtained its zoning long ago, actually before the special permit process was made a part of the Columbus zoning ordinance. So they were grandfathered in. Now, based on conversations that we've had with the city, they've said you ought to go ahead and get your apply for your special permit. They have a policy in place that says if you have a special permit for medical, that will suffice for adult use. As it turns out, this is new, Chair Hardwick, since we last talked, it turns out that their process it's up in the air. They don't know how the ordinance is going to look, so we may have to apply for a specific non-medical marijuana special permit. So we're waiting to see. At any rate, coming into compliance with the statute is important, or with the ordinance is important for us because it will allow us to be a conforming use as opposed to a grandfathered non-conforming use, and that's worthwhile on its own. So, Andrew?
Yeah, I can, Greg will do all the zoning stuff. I can talk a little bit more about Trulieve as a company and cannabis. Cannabis always has questions. It's still new as a regulated product. So again, Andrew Dodge from Trulieve. That was Greg.
Sorry, I should have done that.
You're good. So Trulieve is the country's largest cannabis retailer. We have over 200 plus stores. Our main hubs are Southwest Arizona, Southeast Florida, and then Northeast is kind of Pennsylvania, Maryland, Ohio, kind of that corner right there. But really the bulk of our stores are in Florida, where we have 145, give or take. They open a new one every day right now. Trulieve acquired Harvest of Ohio just this year of May 2024. We currently have 3 dispensaries in the state. This is just a picture of the store and a little bit of background of where it's at, the hours, when adult use started. We included our GM of the store, Reese Troy's contact information there, so that when issues come up, everybody has a direct line to that facility to get things handled.
Actually, if you go back to 1 second, just want to mention it for the record, since it's actually part of the requirement under the zoning code. You can see our hours of operation there, Monday to Saturday, 9 to 7, and Sunday 10 to 5. And as Andrew said, the store is already operating. It's been operating since 2021.
Yeah.
And the emergency contact, that's also a required thing, so we want to make sure that that was mentioned as well.
I wasn't texting, I was putting his number in my phone.
This is just an overshot of to kind of where the store's at, and I know an issue that will come up the parking. What we're dealing with there is mainly street parking. We are doing our best to find alternate solutions to help alleviate any of those concerns. I don't have a solid update that I can provide right now, other than that we are looking into things that may be in that picture there.
Understood.
And really, I just wanted to give a little picture of the staff in the store. Cannabis is very regulated, especially in Ohio, where it's just switching to adult use. So like a lot of photography is actually not allowed right now. So this is just a staff selfie, and then a couple customers and staff in front of the store. I want to say that was probably that's near adult use launch there. Just to kind of give a picture of it, one thing that we've really noticed in our stores is, again, cannabis is new, but people feel more comfortable when they are working with, greeted by somebody that looks like them, feels like them, and is from their area. So we actually do have quite a diverse staff that ends up being pretty local to wherever that store is. And this is again, photography is limited. So this is a site plan. That main bulk of on the bottom left, that is the sales floor. Some of it's unique to cannabis, unlike a liquor store. You walk in, your ID's checked once at the door, it's checked again when you get back there. All this stuff that's out, the boxes, anything, it's all dummy product. It's empty. It's cardboard. So versus a liquor store, you walk in and there's the vodka, they got the vodka. So the chances of somebody acquiring cannabis from one of our facilities that shouldn't have it is pretty low. We do our darndest to make it zero, but zero is a good goal there. The actual counter is right there in the middle, and that's where you'll work with a patient care specialist. That they'll talk to you. What are you looking for? What do you, did you have good experience, bad experience? Before the customer is handed any cannabis, their ID's checked again there. So their ID's checked twice before they're even handed a product. So there's nothing for them to grab and go. And there is a break room. I wish I could. It's not the first time I've heard of our employees sitting in their car, but I will tell the manager that we need to have another training of it. So a big part of cannabis, regulated cannabis, is security. So we work with law enforcement closely. We don't have it, there's not a security guard on site or anything, but all the doors are censored and locked. The big thing that's unique to our facilities is we have 24/7 live video surveillance. So the entire building 360 is covered. So there's always somebody that's in our Florida operating center that is watching the cameras. If 2 in the morning there's someone in shift, a live person's looking, do they need to dispatch police, can handle that. And what ends up happening is because our camera systems are so well positioned, we end up working with law enforcement to support other investigations that they're dealing with. A Phoenix example is there was a sandwich shop next door to a dispensary that was getting robbed, and we were able to work with police to get some good footage of the person robbing the sandwich shop because they didn't rob us. And the other part of the safety security is child diversion, underage use, things like that. So all the packaging is child resistant, and then also what I mentioned earlier about the double ID check. It's just, if you're not supposed to get back to the dispensing floor, you have to work really hard to do it. And I'm not saying that it's, we're 100%, but we're, unlike a liquor store where you get your hands slapped and fined, we can lose our license to operate in the state. If you want to dig into a ID scanner, more than happy to, but that's just, kind of basic what you look at, the various forms that were allowed and things like that. And what I was mentioning earlier with employment, again, we end up with a lot of local talent that end up in cannabis. One thing that, again, is special to cannabis, we're not a new industry. We're not dealers, we're not a retail store that you walk in and you're competing with somebody that has 30 years of experience. With cannabis, if you're willing to grind a little bit, you can elevate your career pretty quickly. A lot of the people that start in the stores end up in corporate jobs. A lot of people that started the cultivation facilities, trimming plants, end up running the plants, running the facilities. It's quite a unique thing that's unique to cannabis just because there isn't this long history of it. And lastly, we do have a specific community development person for Columbus. That's Drake in the upper right corner. So he's involved in all the events and happenings around the town. As an organization, we're part of the Columbus Chamber of Commerce, Best Buddies, Green Bridge. But then as an individual, Drake goes and represents us at a lot of just events in the community. If you go to the next one.
I'll just make a brief plug for the Clintonville Area Business Association, which is our neighborhood chamber of commerce.
That would be a good one to add to our list. But this was, again, these are just some of the ones that he attended. And he either comes as a volunteer or as a truly representative. Sometimes we're able to sponsor things, sometimes we're not, sometimes we're able to just participate as an individual. And that's really cannabis in a nutshell. I'm very happy to try to answer questions and anything anybody has.
So what exactly is this body voting on today? What's being approved?
Sure. So the commission has its own procedures, so they may vote on this today, they may decide not to. Under the Columbus zoning ordinance, all that's required is that if we're in the area of an area commission, that we make a presentation in front of that commission, and then it has to have certain information in it. Once that's done, that's technically all that we need to do. The commission doesn't have to vote. In fact, other commissions do not vote. They just, say thank you.
Is it for sale, or is it for parking, or what is the specific?
Oh, so the special permit is just to be, open, really, for, in compliance with the statute. Now, as I mentioned earlier, we actually were grandfathered in, so we technically don't need it, but we've talked to the city about it. I think out of all the sites in the city, there were only 2 that were grandfathered in, and the city's recommendation was, why don't you just go ahead and obtain a special permit, and everybody will be on the same ground. So the result of today is, if we weren't granted this special permit, we would be able to continue operating. It's not a, I think technically the special permit would allow us to do a few more things than we can right now, like if we were to make some changes to the property, having a special permit in hand would be an advantage to that. But it's really just coming into full compliance with the statute where we were just grandfathered in before.
Okay, so it's not actually something that's needed.
It's not something that's needed. It may be helpful for us. Like I said earlier, and I think Chair Hardwick mentioned this too, there is a policy that the city zoning department has put out that says, it may be that if you have a special permit in hand, like most of the other stores do in Columbus, that you won't have to get a special permit once they adopt the adult use rules. Like I said, just this week, I've heard that may not be the case, so, it's kind of up in the air. They won't have those rules in place. I've heard as soon as October, and it doesn't look like that's going to happen, so maybe November or December.
Okay. May I continue with a few more questions? Sure. So, I live on Crestview, 5 houses down from, up the street from me. I went to the area commission meeting when it was first approved for harvest, and like several of my neighbors, I was locked out of the room until 7:30 p.m. And it was one of the first agenda items. We were not able to comment. So I called and I spoke with the city. I spoke with Doug Fair, who's no longer with the city, and I spoke with him, and he assured me that the hours would be limited from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. It would never change. Now the hours are considerably different. And I wonder if you guys have any comments on it. Because let me just add some context to that. Crestview is a CODA alternate route for when my street is shut down. And Crestview is also a major route for Columbus City school buses. So any comments on the hours of operation and how that fits into your operations?
Neither I nor Trulieve was involved with it at the time when Harvest of Ohio got that. I don't know whether they made some promises or not about hours. When Trulieve acquired, these were already the operating hours. Yeah. So unfortunately, I don't have that information for you.
Okay. I understand from the last meeting that there was some obscurity or lack of clarity on the count of vehicles and the count of customers. Do you have any more information on that?
No, we're not gonna share any of that information.
So you're gonna show up to a zoning commission meeting and not provide your customer counts?
We don't have to provide financial information around this stuff.
Well, by my estimates, just from what I observed on Crestview from August 6th, between 900 and 1,100 vehicles. For a facility that has 2 off-street parking spots, and I couldn't observe the additional vehicles from the lines out the door that were on High Street.
The only thing I would comment on that is August 6th was the first day of adult use sales. that's gonna be the busiest day of any cannabis day.
I understand that. I'm saying on a regular day though, that there, you cannot see the sidewalk.
So I just would, I don't wanna, I'm not gonna argue with you over, how many spots there are, but when I was there last week for an hour, there was always 3 spots on the side and 1 or 2 on the front. And I was there 12 to 1 on a Wednesday or Thursday.
Wow. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
The pictures that we take as neighbors and residents is obscene. To see the count of vehicles impairing access and egress from our homes. That just the sheer volume, to approve a facility of that volume of customers with 2 parking spots.
You know, regarding the parking, so, you know, while, you know, truly, you know, does not share, you know, competitive information, what I can tell you is, you know, the general numbers for Ohio, and I believe that, you know, the truly stores fall in line with this, but the general numbers for Ohio are that stores experienced an increase from, you know, comparing medical marijuana to adult use of about 2.5 times in you know, numbers of customers. You know, compare that to a lot of different states, that's actually on the low end of what you see. For instance, Illinois was 5 to 5.5, I believe. So, and I think that's probably a result of the diligence that Ohio did, you know, in putting its medical marijuana program together. You know, it actually got to a sizable population. You know, with respect to, you know, individual, you know, this particular store, and I know that Andrew is, based on our zoning conversation, is, you know, had conversations with the staff, and that's an ongoing thing. As he mentioned, they are working on another opportunity for parking, and that's getting closer. Unfortunately, because it's not
done,
not
so
signed up, we can't advertise that yet. And then I guess the last thing I would say is, you know, as it sits right now, the store is in full compliance with zoning for parking. There is a possibility, and we don't know what that is yet because the city hasn't set the rules, but you know, there is a possibility the city can change what the parking requirements are for adult use stores.
That's not going to happen because of zone N, there's no parking requirements.
Yeah. So, yeah. So, you know, there is not a parking. You know, we're not deficient in parking right now, nor do we expect that we're going to, from a zoning perspective.
That's fascinating. Let's talk about property crimes. Any updates, any information you guys have about increases or changes, deltas in local property crimes? I can share with you what we're observing as local neighbors, but I'd like to hear what you guys have, if you have any statistics on this.
We don't have any statistics. Every time that we communicate with law enforcement around our stores, there's generally not an uptick.
Okay. Okay. And do you have any information on any numeric values on this?
Not on the high street store, no.
Okay. Okay. What we're seeing, in addition to just the general things like K-turns and the rough driving and the peel outs and stuff on our street, what we're seeing is discarded those white baggies. Those end up in our driveways, those end up in front of our houses. We're seeing the transactions to other people who are not allowed to purchase those items in front of the stores down the street right in front of our houses. They go up the block and then have a cash transaction in front of our house. We catch those on our cameras, on our rings and stuff. So we're seeing a variety of crimes. Our neighbor just had their lawnmower stolen the other day. I don't know what they're doing with that. I've never seen a lawnmower stolen until this happened. So tremendous increases we are observing in property crimes. And it's just getting worse. Any comments?
No. The store's been operational for 3+ years at this point.
Okay.
I don't want to stifle this discussion, but I think I saw a couple more hands.
Please.
So I want to make sure. Did you have any up too?
Hey.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Would you like to provide
So I was at the last meeting, and beyond what Noah, I want to touch on, the parking was slightly better, but I think it was because we're having these meetings. I suspect after you get what you want, the parking's gonna go back the way it was. And the traffic pattern is just, it can be awful, because your customers will park on the corner of Crestview and High Street where it says no parking, no stopping, and they'll stop there. Well, I happen to often go north on High Street and have to turn on Crestview, and there's 5 or 6 cars coming down Crestview, and it's very congested. And we didn't used to have that problem like we do now. Okay, and then some of the customers, instead of going around the block, down east and down Hillstone, getting out on the light, they'll do a 16-point turn on Crestview. So they block the road. I've got orange painted on my curb. People don't see it. I need to get in and out of my driveway. There's somebody parked across the street from my driveway, and they're parked too close to the edge of my driveway. I can't get out. And yeah, you can call the radio room, but you're gonna get a recording, and it's gonna maybe take hours. And there is congestion and parking, and you're changing your business model. We're gonna have more traffic and more parking problems. So, I mean, just in changing the business model. And I don't understand, I'm not asking for the amount of money you make. I'm asking how many people come through there. 100, 10 an hour, 20 an hour, 300 a day. That's all the number we want. We don't want to pry into your financials.
I understand that, but it's still something that we're not going to share at this point.
Well,
and are you guys okay with that? I mean,
is this right for
heaven's sakes, they're
everybody?
coming asking you for permission for zoning, and they're not even sharing their customer counts, and you're, I'm assuming you're cool with that? Am I missing something here?
So, I don't think we have.
No comment. There's no comment for the city.
You're listening though.
Yes.
Okay.
For heaven's sakes. Let's just think about what a textbook.
Okay, we do need to maintain parliamentary. Thank you. I appreciate your comments, and I appreciate your time coming to the meeting tonight, both of you. Yes.
So where is the next closest non-medical marijuana retail?
I actually don't know that answer. Oh, the closest one, look it up.
Google it.
I tried that.
I believe it's on Sankis.
Oh,
I believe the closest one is on Sankis.
There's a couple downtown, I know.
Yeah.
And we would anticipate that in the coming years, there would be more retail locations. That would potentially reduce the strength of this particular
As far as I'm aware, and I'm not entirely sure, so I should make sure you understand that, but as far as I'm aware, none of the dispensaries in Columbus are only medical at this point. They're all dual use, from what I understand.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments from the public?
Is the state gonna open up more dispensary options? Because I know they've kind of put the.
So they'll limit it. I don't know officially the total number of dispensaries allowed. I want to say they're on like round 3 of their lottery, but, and that's their system is a lottery-based system. So you apply, get your number, and you potentially get a license. I believe they're about capped out though.
They are about capped out. They're just about to start the final round of this lottery system. They're separating the state into separate zones, and they're only allowing so many per zone. And then once they're done with this round, you know, you don't know what they may hold it here at this number forever. They might decide only to allow it within certain areas of the state going forward, certain new areas. Right now, there's a 1 mile radius restriction on all the dispensaries. You can't have more than one dispensary within 1 mile. There are a few exceptions to that, but this dispensary is 1 mile away from all the other ones. They could increase that at some point, but they've not put out any official statement on whether there are going to be additional rounds after this round.
So we're pretty much stuck with where we are now, as far as getting more people somewhere else.
Unclear, because they just haven't.
Mr. Clark from the city attorney's office has a comment.
This is Christopher Clark speaking as not as the city attorney. Speaking as Christopher Clark. So there, you mentioned you had cameras and also a staff that is part of the community. Being a part of the community, would you be willing to speak with some of the neighbors regarding parking enforcement? Because those alleys are very small, the roads are very small, and so just living in this neighborhood, it is very difficult to navigate these roads. So would you be willing to talk to neighbors about signage, about someone standing out there saying you cannot park in this alley, or encouraging customers to continue moving? Would that be an option?
Go ahead, Chief.
I'm not Chief, I'm Officer John.
Oh, sorry.
I'm the CLO for this community.
You'd like that
My main complaint from the facility is from the actual business owners. In fact, one business owner in particular who he can't get customers in and out of his own parking lot because your customers are parking on his parking lot. He's got multiple signs. He's goes out and he's outside in his parking lot asking people to stop parking on his lot more than he is selling his own product inside his own store. So the parking is an issue.
Let me connect. I'll get with the commission to get kind of some neighborhood information, but let me just talk with the GM and the area manager of the store, see what the best venue is to start having that in-depth parking conversation.
And just to point out to you, this again, Eris Troy is a manager at the store. This is the phone number, so if anyone would like to reach out and set up a conversation like this, Eris would be one of the people involved, and of course, Andrew and I can help facilitate that too.
Commissioner Moritz.
I was just recently in the Netherlands, and they also have dispensaries there, just around the corner from where my daughter's living. And they have some of the around outside monitoring the customers. So they look out for criminal behavior, they look out for parking. Is that something that you could do as well? Station somebody outside to look out for?
That's 100%. Yeah, something that we would consider. I'd have to talk to the area manager, but it's something that we've done at other.
In the Westerville location.
We do it at other stores, so we will adapt to the needs of the area for sure.
Any other commissioners?
I have just a comment. I'm going back and forth on this a lot. I feel for you guys with the traffic issues.
But not the crime.
No, in the crime, no. I'm with you on all of it, yeah. And having stuff thrown in your yard and all that.
Oh, I haven't gotten to the glass whiskey bottles thrown in our yard.
I live on Broadway, so I've got to trash stuff out front every morning, so I understand on everybody's Wendy's and everything else, but, we've gone from comments where you're not gonna give us information to where it sounds like you're turning the corner and you're willing to help and work with the neighborhood, and I'm hoping that that's what I'm understanding here, that you will somehow come together with the neighbors and the community to understand that while we're not saying we're opposed to your business model, we're opposed to maybe not being the best neighbor to the neighborhood right now, and how can you fix that to where you can coexist with these neighbors with parking and hours of operation and selling or passing along product if you're viewing that.
So I believe the
whatever's
officer
going
in the
on.
back is
Right.
gonna have the biggest issue with that.
Yeah, but am I right in getting that feeling that?
We wanna be a friend of the neighborhood.
Yeah.
And I think part of that, I can talk to Drake and maybe, he can attend this commission meeting every once in a while. I can't commit to him every month, but he can be a part of this, joining the commission, business association. I do want to I think there's a difference between listening to the community and disclosing financial information.
No, I'm not asking you for
Yeah.
financial information.
But no,
But I'm, at first, the impression I'm getting is that, this is how it is and we're not gonna do anything. But you're hearing these concerns and I'm hoping that you've turned the corner and willing to work with everyone. And I'm wondering so you have 2 parking spaces for your building, but I don't think parking can even be addressed with zoning that has passed for the commercial corridor. That the 2 parking spaces is not even an issue anymore, unfortunately, because that ship has sailed. But I'm hoping that you can maybe educate your guests, customers, that they shouldn't be parking in the neighboring businesses' lots, and they should not be blocking the driveway so somebody can't get out. And maybe there's something that you put in your bag as you're handing them their product that says, if you parked here, you shouldn't. If you did this, you maybe next time think twice about parking in front of somebody's driveway. Just somehow to educate your customers and being better neighbors to the neighborhood also. Or just walk. Or ride your bike. Yeah, you have a bike, rack.
The lady that was here last one, she's like, I know your store. I always bike, so I don't have to.
There we go, all right.
Wonderful, and we have both of your contact info, we have the store manager's contact info. Really appreciate the time that the neighbors have put into coming tonight and sharing your experiences, very, very helpful. Are there other comments or questions from commissioners? And again, we're not voting on a parking variance, that is a topic tonight, but that is not what the vote is on, this is a special use council variance. Are we prepared to vote? Commissioner Moritz.
Yes.
Commissioner Miller.
Abstain.
Commissioner Lotta.
Yes.
Commissioner Lay Osborne.
I think it's a moot point. I don't think we should be even voting on this because it's not gonna change their use right now. I'd rather vote later on whenever they need to request the non-conforming or non-medical use if that comes to that. So I'm a no vote because I don't think we should even be voting on this. They don't need it to operate.
Make a motion to table.
Motion to table then.
Is there a second? Okay, so this is a motion to table the vote on the special use permit change that is before us. And I realize this is clunky that we started the vote before we did the motion to table. And I apologize, and it's on video, so we have to record that occurred. Okay, motion to table the special use permit. Commissioner Moritz with a yes. Commissioner Miller.
Yes.
Commissioner Lotta.
Yes.
Commissioner Lay Osborne.
Yes.
Commissioner Wyman.
Yes.
And I will abstain. We are tabling the motion to change the special use permit for Julie. Thank you very much for your presentation this evening and for your communication. And if you need any assistance connecting with any neighbors or entities, feel free to connect with any of the commissioners, and we're happy to make those connections.
And Chair Bolton, there will be a report to the zoning, Board of Zoning Adjustment that we have made the required presentation.
Great, thank you so much. We really appreciate your attention to the procedures and for spending time with the community.
Thank you all very much.
Just a question.
Yes.
Table indefinitely or for the next meeting?
Indefinite. We didn't set a date.
Yeah, well, just think I think the secretary still needs to send.
For the SRF.
Needs to send the SRF and saying their presentation was made in this meeting. Because that's what he's saying, they just have to prove.
Yeah, so the standardized recommendation form still needs to go to city council by Monday. Thank you very much. Great. Chair Hardwick, I'll turn it back over to you.
The last one, we CV
I'll go to my email. Hold up.
24, I think it's 9099, and it's to permit a cat shelter in an institute, in a lot that's zoned institutional. And this is, and we are clear, the application says cat shelter, it doesn't say animal shelter. So our understanding is that means cats or dogs that are, they want to come back to do anything, but cats, they have to come and they would have to come back. This is, the committee had voted, let me start. The committee had voted 6-0 recommending approval, and it seemed like there's a huge amount of parking in the back. And they are currently allowed to do a veterinarian. They're not allowed to have, if there were a vet there, the vet wouldn't be allowed to do boarding, as we understand. It's just, the biggest concern is from a neighbor, and I got another email this afternoon from the immediate neighbor who said that she couldn't be here. But it was of the neighbors next to the patio that they want to enclose, and they can talk more about what their plans are for how they want to enclose it. They want to have a patio that's enclosed so that the cats can go outside. Neighbors were concerned about odor. I do remember that they said that even their trash tends not to stink because it's odor preventing cat litter. It's odors is what it's in. But she was concerned about odor. She was concerned about a chain link fence, bugs, rodents, people dropping off unwanted cats outside business hours, and wildlife. And as she also was not opposed to an enclosure on the other side of the building, but she did think that the spirit and intent of the zoning laws were enough, and that this is a substantial departure from the current use. This is the immediate neighbor make sure I get it to the west. So there's ample parking. They do hope to do some events in their parking lot. This is usually about 20 people for their donors. This has, you can see from the map, it does have pedestrian access from Clifton Heights, as well as driving access and walking access from East North Broadway. I think if there's anything else that would want to make sure that I have any other concerns to people. The C4, if this were C4, it would allow for an animal shelter, but the institutional zoning does not allow for a shelter. There's one comment that this does seem to be less intense than some other potential uses for the lot. They do say they currently have limited hours for their adoption, but that's not for certain. Well, part of the reason I'm taking time is when the immediate neighbor isn't here and hasn't been able to express her concerns, I did try to tell her that I think she's better at telling precisely. But she said there's some shit. It's not that she was blowing it off. She had something planned for a long time. Couldn't make her. I think Commissioner Osborne has received the same emails I did and can supplement that. But this just seemed like it was not a big change. This seemed like a perfect place for an animal shelter. The cats would probably love it there. Plenty of parking. People have plenty of parking. It's isolated away from traffic. Their cats can already deal with the train. They will now have the trees between them and the train tracks, whereas right now they're just on Indianola, and they're facing the tracks directly. So I think that's the end of it.
And I think the applicant is here as well. Do commissioners have questions for Chair Harwood before we, Commissioner Wyman?
What's the definition of an institutional?
I'd have to go back and look. It's just its own category that has its own set of it's defined by what it's allowed. I can try to look up I'll click on my links to see what all the other permitted uses is. It's just like C4, C3, institutional, industrial. They all have a list of things that are allowed and things that aren't allowed. I can look that up, unless the city zoning attorney knows off the top of their head. Okay, well then.
I actually have a list of what
Wonderful.
institutional.
Oh, okay. You're welcome to respond if you like.
This is the applicant.
Hi. Did you want me to come up and present?
You're welcome to. Yeah. You know, I know you came last month and shared kind of broad strokes scope, but and I know Chair Hardwick shared like an overview of what the committee decided, and you're welcome to add to that as much as you like. We have time, and yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But don't feel like you need to repeat things.
Okay.
Although you're welcome to. I'm not trying to
Well,
stifle.
I don't want to keep you guys here longer than you have to be either. I did make, because I don't have an overhead, I did make copies for everyone if you want that have like a kind of a better look of the site. And pass those out. I wrote the newsletters too. But hi. Who wants to talk about cats? After the last one. Yeah, this is diversity. Yeah. So I'll kind of skip ahead to the neighbor. You copied me on that email, and she had a concern. And what we had said is reached out. I took recommendations from Steve's committee and said, what do you guys think that we should do with this? And they said, absolutely do a barrier. You know, whether it's landscaping, whether it's a fence, whatever, because she was concerned at that time that she thought she could see us from her patio. And so we said we would do a barrier, and I guess now there are some other concerns about that. We did discuss in the last meeting that where our dumpster would go. Our dumpster is going to go by the railroad tracks, so nobody in the housing area is going to be near it. And our dumpster is picked up 3 times a week, and we also use a dumpster cleaning service. You can't actually do that where they come and scour it out and all of that just to keep down odors, but it doesn't smell as bad as a restaurant one, I'll tell you. If anybody's walked by a restaurant dumpster, woo, that's kind of crazy. But hopefully we can, hopefully she can be happy. I will tell, just because you guys are curious, some of the things that I know that our realtor had told us that the only other ones looking at the property was a school. I think a school could be pretty disruptive with drop-offs, pickups, just kids being loud and around. But institutional allows for a school, a preschool, a daycare, a doctor's office, an urgent care center, a health clinic, a mental health center, a community center, I looked this up, okay, a bank, a police station, a church, a funeral home, or an adult daycare. So those are options that could go into that spot and wouldn't have to go through a variance like we would have to. And they might be more disruptive to the neighborhood than I think cats. And just to reassure everyone is that we would have to change our name if we ever allowed dogs. But no, we are only cats, and they're much quieter. And I will say, as far as rodents or any vermin, we don't have any of that now, so I don't know why that would ever change. Right, I mean, that's kind of their nature. So just some other things I thought I would bring up is I think people get really stuck on the idea of cat welfare being a shelter, but we are more of a community organization than just a shelter. We have many organizations. We work closely with people that are trying to bring down the pet population in general, and a large scope of our funds go towards, it's called Trap Noodle Return, where they actually trap cats that are unfriendly and get them spayed and neutered so no one continues to spread the population. And they get returned and taken care of as a community pet and with a feeder or whatever. But we pay for the bulk of that to happen across the city. I'll go ahead and say that with that, just an example of how we're a community organization is that there was a cat that was very injured
injured in a way that he could make a full recovery, but it was an unusual injury that nobody had seen before. So we worked with the first group that picked up the cat, and we said, and they called us, and then they called another group, and between us and two other groups, one picked up the cat, and we said, can you find a vet that would even take this on? Because a lot of vets said, I don't know what to do. And they said, but we can't foster it and do the recovery. So another small rescue group said, we'll foster and do the recovery for this cat. We said, hey, we'll throw in some money for the medical, and then we'll do the adoption. And that's kind of how cat welfare works in the community, is we work with not just people who find cats, which happens all the time, or with kittens, or people who need help paying for the spay-neuter of their cats. But we also have But we also have programs where if somebody has a cat, and if you have pets now, you know it's outrageously expensive, that if they can't pay to get their cat the medical help that it needs, we have a program that also takes care of that for people. So we want to keep cats in homes and make everyone happy. So just while I get a chance to brag, I'll say that last year in 2023, we adopted 871 cats and kittens. We average about 260 cats in our shelter at this time. With the expansion, we really hope to be able to have more community programs. We want education. We want to be able to sponsor education about spay-neuter and spay-neuter outreach. We would love to be able to hold those in our facility and do any kind of fundraisers or things for that. Spay-neuter is our biggest, we're the biggest advocates for that. Just like I was saying in our Good Samaritan program, in 2023, we paid for 66 cats that were already owned and helped pay their medical costs. So I guess that's about it. One thing I wanted to add, because it seemed like why this property, why this place, and outside of the luxury of 54 parking spaces, which I don't know where you get that anywhere in Clintonville outside of Kroger, but it's got a great outdoor space, and we do plan on building patios next to the building. Again, with our neighbors' concern about the patio, the one that would be near her already is a patio. So we wouldn't be creating a patio. It is a patio that we would be enclosing and using it. But on the other side, and we hope to have more because it's a beautiful landscaped lot with mature trees. And all the cats would be contained within that. It's just very unique. At one point, part of the building was industrial. So it has all kinds of plumbing and electrical, and it would allow us to do anything we wanted, because to keep cross-contamination at this site, there is plumbing in every inch of the building, which is really unusual. So we can have hand washing stations in every section of there, which is very important. So, I'm just kind of rambling at this point.
Thank you. Thank you for the presentation, and thank you for the, it sounds like lots of communication with the immediately surrounding neighbors, which we always encourage, so thank you for that. Are there questions from the commissioners for the applicant? Are there questions from the public? Yes.
I have a comment. Can you trade with
Sorry, have you seen this site? We're really excited about this site. No, that place is great.
Ms. Rogers.
I did attend the zoning meeting along with North Broadway neighbor Dave Fisher, who is also an adjoining property owner, a rather significant one. He had an opportunity to ask his questions, and at the very end of the presentation he said, I don't have a problem with the cats.
Oh,
so just thought you should know. And then I also
I didn't know who that was.
That's
okay,
that was.
Okay, thank
so
you.
Also wanted to make sure that, just so you know, we are anti-deer welfare.
Apparently.
Can't you do something in the year?
Ms. Imbro.
I think it's also important to acknowledge and recognize that this organization has been part of the Clintonville community since 1940.
45. 1945.
I know, it was before I was born, I wasn't here. And that they have established themselves as a good community member. And the fact that they have chosen to stay within the community, I think speaks volumes for the organization.
I think it speaks volumes about Clintonville as well. It's a great place.
I think we're prepared to vote on the variances. I would like to vote on, keep opening the wrong email, I apologize. I would like to vote on them together unless there's a interest in separating them. It's only just not on my hand tonight. Okay, yes, it is one. All right. Is there, okay, we're gonna go ahead and, we don't need a motion. Commissioner Moritz.
Yes.
Commissioner Miller?
Yes.
Commissioner Alada?
Yes.
Commissioner Lee Osborne? Yes. Commissioner Wyman?
Yes.
Will also vote yes, and congratulations, your project has been approved, and best
Thank
of
you.
luck. Let us know if you come celebrate once you're all moved in.
Yeah. Yeah, just.
Wait a minute, maybe we could have our meetings there and go past mine.
It would have more space to park and sit, it sounds like.
Yes, you can have your meetings here anyway, but the cats would love
We
it.
will not make that a contingency of our. Is there another item that's missing on here? I feel like, okay. I see this giant poster board and I feel that there's something I'm missing on this agenda.
It's what I emailed you guys. I just wanted to bring a visual for Crestview, so that way,
Okay.
I keep saying congregation, but I know this isn't church, but so the group could see it if they had.
Would you like to share? We've got time on the, yeah, we've got time on the clock. Thank you, Chair Hardwick, for your joining.
So I know every month I've been coming, saying it's coming, and so now it is really here. So we're going to, on Crestview right now, we do have, construction and they're kind of staging and mobilizing the area. Construction is set to begin in the upcoming weeks. We're looking towards next week or the following. And so I just wanted to have the group be aware of what the traffic change would be for this duration of time. We're looking at several weeks. And again, the purpose of this is to do a tie-in so that we can replace existing main pipelines to make it safer. It is a project that was enforced by the federal government to ensure that we have safe distribution of gas. And so if you have any questions, please let me know. If I don't have an answer, I will get the answer for you. I brought in our engineer from Campos who worked with the city to get this traffic plan approved. And so that is why he's here to answer any technical questions that you may have. But I'm just here to let you know what's happening, what's about to happen, and let you know that I'm here to support you, to listen to you during this time.
Hi, District 1. Next year you'll be tearing up my street on 2 lane. So, Crestview, how long was this closed for? How long is the duration of construction once you get going? Is it a month?
It is so much silence right now, and I hate that for me.
You're always here. You can come back with an answer.
So let's be flexible with that. Let's do maybe 6 to 8 weeks on the, and that's on the, I would say the longer end of things.
Yeah, this section, if I may interject, this section is for our pullback for the HDD. So they'll start off by, of course, putting up the traffic signs and whatnot, but then just moving pipe in and some excavators and the welders will come in, and we'll start, welding up the pipe from one end to the other. And there'll be multiple, we call them strings of pipe. There's not just one section that once they hook onto it, we'll be able to pull through because the road's not long enough. So there'll be multiple sections of pipe that'll be welded up in the road. It'll be secure and safe, but it'll be
this location underneath the freeway to Linden? Okay.
It'll be over to Beulah, just south of Weber.
Yeah. Did you, I know that you reach out to all the neighbors there and they're aware that some of the folks have driveways onto Crestview. Can they still access their driveways during this construction, or do they have to basically park around the corner?
And some will be able to and some will not be able to.
Okay.
And I can't say which ones we wish.
I understand.
If you get those concerns, which you may, we're working through what that looks like for the residents that may or may not have access because of how the pipe will be staged.
Yeah, it's probably how it's gonna go on Tulane in a way too next year, whereby you'll probably close off a block or two at a time with no access and just to be able to trench it.
So this is not a distribution project.
Yeah.
It's just a main.
Yeah, because there's the 20-inch main that jogs up to Tulane and goes down to High Street.
Yes, but what I'm saying is the, I don't have the next phase in my head stored that closely, but that doesn't necessarily mean it will be on Tulane.
Okay. And all the work takes place within the street. I know that the right of way is staked off, but the work goes to take place in the paved area. You're not tearing up lawn, trees.
No, not on this phase. No.
Okay.
On the other side of the highway we are.
Yeah. Okay. That's all.
I have a question. Was this traffic plan shared with us? Do we have access to it?
Yes, so I tried to send it to the commission and it like shot it back to me, so I did the individual emails.
Okay.
Was it?
I got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any questions from the public for Columbia Gas? Thank you for coming back and being just so, continuing to be so communicative.
I'm gonna be in the building, you guys know, I'm there for you.
Thanks for the info.
That concludes our formal agenda. Do any commissioners have items they want to bring up for discussion tonight before we move to public comment?
I would like to bring up a new item.
Sure.
Let me find it on my list here. We continue to have, issues along High Street with, deaths, and near misses and speed. I would like to propose that we, consider requesting a flashing crosswalk in Dunedin, similar to what's in downtown Worthington that they have during their, farmers market. Cause I cringe driving on High Street every Saturday, seeing jaywalkers on, not going up to Torrance or not going to Open Park, but that island in the middle of High Street is kind of a spot that Dunedin, that people congregate at, and be it yoga day or, whatever's going on over on that side, I really feel like, it's an accident waiting to happen. That if we could have where they are pressing the button and you have the flashy lights and everyone stops for a while on both sides, I think that would, make it a safer space for events to occur.
I think if you wanna bring something that we can all look at and then submit to city, we should have a discussion about it for sure. And I think that, I continue to be discouraged about the lack of appetite that we have heard from the city around traffic calming on High Street, speed limit reduction on High Street and our other major arteries in Clintonville. I hear that Councilman Rummy, who chairs public safety, is going to have in-district meeting opportunities, so maybe we should consider, requesting a meeting too, to talk like more broadly about, some of these speed issues and deaths that have been happening in Clintonville. It feels like every meeting we have another pedestrian death, on High Street, practically almost all of them. But yeah, I think if there's maybe a letter or something that we
Okay.
could,
I'll draft
or
something.
that'd be great. Other thoughts from commissioners on that?
Yeah. I think it's a great idea. I was just driving here this evening, there was a dad with two young girls holding their hands while crossing the street right there. And it just seemed, it's not jaywalking because every intersection is a legal crosswalk.
Right.
Yeah, but it's kind of scary to do that. I definitely understand that. I think that we just need to keep after the request of the city for some kind of traffic study.
Any other comments from commissioners before we move to the public? Thanks for bringing that up.
is Public Safety Week taking place next week, I definitely think that that Wednesday community conversation would be a great time to kind of lay the foundation and just discussing anything in particular in depth that you want to talk about, leading up to a meeting that you might want to schedule with him, like individually again. It's like open, so if you want to bring more people, especially individuals that have like personal testimony, I think that would be the best time really to start the conversation on a one-on-one basis.
And that's Wednesday next week?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, and I can give you the address for that. If you go on the council website, it'll be on there, but it's from 4 to 7.
Okay, great, thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Any additional public comment this evening? Going once,